Good morning, America. Good morning to my panel. Good morning, Chandler. Good morning, Amos. Good morning, Oz. Good morning to our viewers. Wow, I'm tired. I don't know if you are feeling, but I'm so tired. Not that I watched the last debate in full, and I envied my feet who fell asleep, and I'm tired. I don't know who my colleagues are, in what condition my colleagues are here, and I would like to ask Shanda, how are you doing today?
I'm tired too, Marcus. As we get closer and closer to this nightmare, I'm tired. But I've had a sick family member all week, so I've been dealing with the healthcare in the U.S. all week, and I'm tired from fighting that system. It is so broken. We have to fix it.
Yeah. Amos, same question to you. How are you doing in New Jersey?
Surviving here in New Jersey, and just waiting another week or so to see what happens.
Yeah, you are not looking so good, you know. Is it, what do you have on your neck? What's going on there?
It is so broken.
Oz, can you hear us?
Yeah, he was listening to playback.
Yeah, I was making sure we have sound for everybody. Let me get I've got these sandbags. I'm expecting a tsunami in my house, so I thought I'd make my head, I'd cover my head there. Yeah, that sort of thing. So thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks.
And distracting, you know, that you find me over there in the right corner, you know. I'm not expecting a call from Lindsay, of course.
Sure you are. Sure you are.
I'm in good hands, and so, you know, I don't expect this call. You know, I only can repeat myself. Anyway, let's have a look on what we're having today on the show. And we will have right down the Niagara Falls. We will remember the first time when it happened. Then Amos will talk about the Purdue opioid plea. We will talk about Sands Tech. Amos is talking about ICE allegations of torture, which doesn't sound good. And then, well, the Dems strike back. We will talk about that. And of course, we are looking back at Bolivia, where Evo Morales' party won. And I think this is great news also. Well, at first, I'd like to start with a little discussion. We are only 10 days away. Well, it's not long. And what do we expect? What do you think, guys? Who's going to win, Chanda?
Well, you know, I was saying Trump since Bernie dropped out had it, but in the last month I've pedaled that back, and I think that the oligarchs have chosen Biden. I don't think it'll be a routine election where we just have a winner. I think we're going to go through a huge amount of turmoil, and Trump might win the popular vote, but I think in the end Biden's going to come out the winner.
Okay, I got to correct my question a little bit. You know, I think we got to divide the question into two parts. You know, who will gonna win the vote and who is gonna end as president? You know, and
right.
This should be the correct question here. You know, what do you think to this, Chandler? Do you expect Biden to win it?
Outright win it?
Yeah.
I don't. I think we'll probably end up in court. I don't see Trump just laying down and rolling over and conceding this.
All right. Okay. This is why I'm afraid also. And Amos, what do you think?
I really don't know. I think it's very close in terms of being able to predict. The polls are showing Biden in the lead. However, one thing that I noticed is Missouri is considered the bellwether state. I don't know how many elections it has predicted the outcome of the elections, and Missouri is firmly in supporting Trump. So to me, it's too close for comfort. Right now, I don't know.
Yeah, I see.
I agree.
And Oz, what do you say?
Trump edges out Biden. That's it. I'm still going to go with that. Normally, I'd swing where Shanda's coming from, but there's just absolutely no energy for Biden that I can see. But what I do see is people on freeway hangovers for Trump. I see Trump in everybody's yard that I go by. I mean, the density here is of course red, but even when I look at some of the larger cities, there's no energy for Biden. So I'm going to have to go with Trump edging out Biden.
All right. Okay. Doesn't sound good. And this is the problem we are facing. We talked about this so many times. You have to choose between the plague and the cholera. You have Trump and you have Biden. And what are you doing? If you absolutely don't want to support a candidate, none of those, but you want to take part in the election. And Amos, what can we do? Where do we have options?
Well, that's the thing. Everybody's going to have to make their own decision. I've been agonizing over it myself. However, I live in a non-swing state, and right now Biden, according to the polls, is leading double digits over Trump. So I don't think I'm taking a large risk if I elect someone else. However, there's other. And you know who you are in the states that are swing states. That is much more of a dilemma or a I would say to me it wouldn't be a dilemma at all. If I was in a swing state, I would vote Biden, just because I'm so afraid of what Trump would bring. But I have the luxury of living in a non-swing state.
Yeah, me too.
All right. Anything to add? I mean, 10 days, and what can we expect? I mean, we talked about this as well, and this is what I think what makes us also tired, because there's nothing we can look forward to. We will face either the Trump madness for another term, or we will have the oligarchy stuff going on and on and on and on. And well, I don't know. I'm at this point, I'm glad that I'm living in Germany, to be honest.
But in all earnest, I don't think there's a comparison here, and I think the dangers that Trump is providing regarding the removal of the last vestiges of our democratic institution, checks and balances, is just looming. It's just too serious to ignore. I think that the chance of having Biden, the chance of it providing a judicial system reform, is important. I don't believe in packing myself, but by itself, but I think that system needs to be reformed and decoupled from the political system. I think that it's important that there is a progress towards the Green New Deal by the Biden administration, even if it doesn't go 100% of the way there, as we discussed last week. And I think the VP is also a deciding thing. The fact that the VP flirted with progressive agenda means that they understand the importance of moving towards that direction, and the fact that Biden also modified some of his ecological policies and so forth also indicate the same. So it's important that we would be able to push them as opposed to Trump.
Yeah, I'm skeptic, to be honest. What the Biden plans concern, especially with Kamala Harris. We know how she used to flip flop, not only what the Green New Deal concerns, also what healthcare concerns. We saw her, and the thing is, and here I'm absolutely with Amos. That from a global point of view, another term with Trump would destabilize so much, especially what means progress regarding fighting the climate change, etc. And this, in my opinion, this would me vote for Biden. As I said, for weeks and months, with a fist in my pocket, and the same day, after the election, I would try everything, to get another option installed, a third party or something else, because it does not end with voting Trump out of the office, and Biden, Harris are not the solution. Well, I don't expect much from the Democrats. We will talk a little bit about the Democrats later, and But first, I would like to thank Dan McCartney for the $26. Thanks for a weekly dose of sanity. I'm not sure if we deliver sanity, but if you feel like that, thank you very much for this, crazy times.
So I'm curious, what do you guys decide you were doing? Would you share with us, Oz and Shanda?
I'm not following. What are we?
What
in terms of the elections? What are you voting? Third party? Are you voting write-ins?
I went third party.
I voted against Trump, and that would be the candidate who best represents the values of the people. And I would do it even though I'm in a so-called blue state safe. I do it no matter what state, because we cannot allow this crap to go on. It's every cycle for the last 40 years. Oh my God, it's the end of the world. Yes, Trump's calling out the brown shirts, the federal marshals to these states. But that inkling in my mind, what's Biden going to do? The creator of the crime bill, the guy that got us into more wars than Trump has even thought about, who's Trump's tried to get us out. Again, it's a safe state, but I'm not leaning on that. I voted for who I wanted to vote for because they represent my values. And until people get some guts and start doing this at all levels, instead of just voting blue, check, 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 we're screwed. We're going to get a worse Trump in 4 years if you keep doing this. So, again.
So that's a third party or a write-in?
At this point, I don't write in, because it counts as a blank.
Exactly.
So I picked a candidate. We had 6. I think Vermont, Melissa, she said they had 19. I had 6 to choose from, and there was 2 there that were really close to my ideology of what's best for the 99%, not the 1%. So that's who I went with. So I am with everybody who's basically in the virtual streets and will be in the streets if we get past this pandemic. That's who I'm with.
In the slide behind us I wanted to give people the information of which state allow write-ins. If you did decide you wanted to write in, the states in the first group don't allow at all write-ins, which is a shame. But Nevada, New Mexico, South Dakota, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, South Carolina, and Hawaii, if you want to write in, you're out of luck. The other group allows anyone to you can write anyone in. You can write Donald Duck in there, and that's Oregon, Iowa, Iowa, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Rhode Island, New Hampshire, and Vermont. Everybody else is requires the nominee to be pre-registered, which kind of limits you as to who you can write in, and it kind of becomes ineffective. That's just unfortunately the law, and hopefully that we can get that changed in the future.
Yes, absolutely. And I would like to thank also Juliet Nickel for $20. Thanks Apple Media team for all your efforts. Peace and health. Good luck to us all. Hashtag save Assange. Yeah, another topic. Thank you, Juliet. Julian Assange is another topic we still had not here on No Joke. We also need to discuss this also. It's absolutely crazy what's going on there. And Amos, I interrupted you.
No.
All right. Okay. Well, then I think it's time to start the first topic we have, or the first segment. Well, these days, 10 days before the election, it is like entering the barrel, and we are looking back at 1901, when the first bell ride down Niagara Falls happened. And yes, I think it was quite a nice news in those days today, to talk about this. It was the lady who was Annie Addison Taylor who came to this idea, and she came from a quite good house, and she later got widowed, and then she thought about ways, to keep her life standard at the level. And so she decided, when she heard about the Niagara Falls, to do this right in a barrel. And she succeeded, and most surprisingly is she survived this trip, and quite remarkable that I think this ride took about 20 minutes, and then she appeared in a little battered in the barrel, and she went out and gave the first interviews, about the ride, how it was, etc. And she was clearly looking for fame, and there's a sad story about it. It didn't work out for her, the people, they were interested in her, but, they were not enthusiastic about her. Enthusiastic were others who came after her. And, between 1901 and 1995, 15 people went over the falls, and only 10 of them survived. So the death rate is quite high, and at home, please, doesn't matter how the election ends, don't try this at home, because it's no solution, Yeah. Well, in the end, the lady failed, and she got back home, and and she is only a little footnote in history. Well, that's the story about the first Niagara ride. Happened also today, there was President Truman who declares that the war with Germany is officially over. The Concorde, and this was in 1951. In 2003, the Concorde made its final flight. And in 1945, the United Nations is born. Very important also to know, in 1969, Richard Burton bought Elizabeth Taylor a diamond. No joke, it was really in History Channel. And in Germany, in 1648, the 30-year war ends, and another bloody war in Europe. And in 1954, President Eisenhower pledges support to South Vietnam. We all know where this led. And in 1861, the Western Union completes the first transcontinental telegraph line. Yeah, the internet, right? Without the telegraph line, no internet, maybe. Yeah. That's all from the Niagara Falls. And I give over to a more serious topic. It's about the DOJ and the punishing of Purdue. Amos, take it.
So the DOJ has come to a plea deal with the Purdue Pharma company. And on the face of it, it seems like they've done a great job. It said that they agreed that they would pay $8.3 billion as a penalty for their role in the creation of the opioid crisis. Purdue will be dissolved, and a new public interest company will be created in its place to continue making these drugs and pay for the rest of these reparations, because there's not enough cash left in there to cover that 8.3 billion. The funds will be provided to states to deal with the treatment and abatement of the opioid addiction. And the public interest company will be controlled by a trust in the public's that will make sure that the public's interest is served, and it will continue to create treatment drugs for dealing with the addiction, emergency overdose drugs that they've started producing, and continue to produce OxyContin because they're claiming that OxyContin has justified use. And it's funny that, well, it's not funny, but Purdue has after they created the opioid crisis, they have then started manufacturing drugs that were dealing with the fallouts of it.
It's called MAT, medically assisted treatment.
Right, and then they were raking money on that.
They still are.
And they still are, yes. So the question is, did they really get punished? And the thing is, no, they have not really gotten punished, because nobody went to jail. The Sackler family well, let's first look at the what happened with the crisis, with the opioid crisis. 450,000 people died between 1999 and 2009 from overdoses, including any opioids. And about a third of those deaths in 2018 involves prescription opioids. So you can kind of deduct about a third of that number may have been related to Oxycontin in general. It created about 5 million addictions, and most of them to opioid prescriptions by 2008. And states across the country have filed claims stopping $2 trillion that were supposed caused by this epidemic. The damage to the states was claimed to be about $2 trillion. So this, compared to the punishment, it dwarfs the punishment. And the Sackler family, first of all, the Purdue company itself made estimated $35 billion by 2017 on Oxycontin. So let that sink in. They made that many more billions of dollars over it than they are expected to pay now. The Sacklers themselves made $13 billion personally. They're not asked to pay a penny more than the $256 million that they came to a plea agreement with individually, separately, in person. And it's just unbelievable that this system allows people to pass without any personal liability. All of the executives that made these decisions and decided how to best get people addicted, there's no penalty on them whatsoever. So the company is not going to be any more controlled under the Sackler family, and it's pretty much like a sweet retirement deal rather than punishment.
Yeah. What did we expect?
Well, that's the problem. I think our system, our judicial system, is very broken, and unless something gets changed, I think the problem is that we're holding companies liable as people and treating companies as people, and they're not, because there are people behind them. Companies are just tools and extensions of people.
Yes, there are too many kings in American democracy, and for my taste, if you look at all the Waltons, the Cox, or and all the others, who have the control, those were the guys people fled for and came to America, right? And now you see they are pretty good installed, in every way.
Yeah, and I don't think that's a party issue either. I think if it was the Democrats, similar arrangements would have gotten to. Like you've seen that the Wall Street people got away with whatever happened in the default without having any personal cost.
And what is for me as a German, I would like to know, everything is known about the opioid crisis. What is happening? What is actually happening to solve this problem? Do those people, who got those prescriptions for those opioids, do they get help? Do they get alternatives which don't lead into addiction? What's going on there, Amos?
Well, the states have programs that are doing that, but there's also a political fight about what is used to prevent addiction, and there is a Puritan kind of concept of no, we should not provide them other drugs to abate the addiction to heroin and overdose drugs. And so this is like a political football, and unfortunately, because Europe has a much smarter approach. They're dealing medically with this issue, not morally.
Yeah, or criminally, that's a point also. Well, horrible, if it is, I cannot imagine, that this would be here in my country, that the people are more or less left alone. And this is the complete discussion or the debate is made on the backs of those people who have those addictions, actually, And you can do a lot, in regard to prevention. But once you got the addiction, you need help, And from what you say, I don't see they're getting real help, right?
They're getting some, but it's spotty. It's not. There's no federal approach to it. It depends, even at a doctor's level, who's going to get actual intervention treatment or not.
Yeah.
And of course, that has implications also on racial implications or ethnic implication of who gets more support and who doesn't.
Yeah. And a little bit earlier in the green room, Channa said she is also a little bit of her tiredness is coming also from fighting the not the pharma industry, but fighting for medication, right, Channa? What's going on there?
Well, so a couple of different things. I'm a recovering opiate addict who was handed my addiction in 2003. And if you look at the records, my doctor was being enticed by Purdue and these big pharmaceutical companies to increase medication dosages. So I had a knee injury originally that I started with, but it just snowballed from there. And I mean, I trusted this man in a white lab jacket. He's handing me prescription. He's telling me to take it so many times a day that it'll help my pain. Yes, deep down in the back of my mind, I knew that, this is a bad product. I shouldn't be taking it, but my doctor's telling me to take it, so I take it. So we fast forward 10 years of opiate addiction and going to a doctor every month. My life hangs in his hand. If he doesn't give me a prescription, then I'm not well. I can't get out of bed. I can't go to work. It literally spiraled my whole entire life out of control. I lost everything, my house, my cars, my kids. I literally woke up in jail. And that was a week after my insurance decided to quit paying for my doctor's visits and my prescriptions. So I literally was having to pay thousands out of pocket to maintain an addiction that they had handed me. But there was no step down. There was no, here, let us help you figure out how to get off of these. There was no help for that. It was just moved to the streets, like most addicts end up doing once they lose their prescription. So a lot start with the doctor and end up on heroin. I didn't make that transition to heroin. I knew I would end up dead. But this is something that has affected my family, my whole entire family. I now have a daughter who is addicted and living on the streets. I have other family members, all age range, because we were handed, and our community was targeted by these drug companies. And we know that by the data that we're now seeing in these lawsuits. So the answer was, I found my own way. I did natural herbs out of China to help me transition over, and it gave me my life back, and I'm thankful for that. But there is many, many out there that have moved to what we call the MAT, which is medically assisted treatment. Now, these are narcotics on their own level, which is Suboxone and Naloxone, these drugs that have been created by the same exact drug companies. Because when you become an addict, you're rewriting the neurological pathways in your brain. So you constantly feel sick. You always feel sick. Even if you're clean for 2 years, you still have this flu-like feeling always. You're tired. You can't control your body temperature. It's like having the worst flu you've ever had. So now what we're doing is we're building these huge clinics, and we're fighting one in my community. We have this Save Squim, because they want to build a 400-bed facility where they will bring these people in from other communities and they will do a medically assisted treatment. So they will have to come in every day to get their methadone or every day to get their Suboxone. And there's new ones every day. So yet again, the pharmaceutical companies are getting rich off of the cure that they created for the addiction that they created. And so I do not support the medically assisted treatment. I don't think that you're ever clean if you're just taking another drug to fill that hole. And I know these drugs. I've been on these drugs. My family members are on these drugs. They're not any better than the oxycodone that you were given in the first place. So I'm going to cover this tonight on Beauty and the Boomer too.
It's interesting. We completely disagree on that. I think that medically assisted, aside from the
and I'm an addict. I'm not a recovering addict because I will always be an opiate addict. There's only an 8% success rate coming off of opiates. 8%. The rest fail.
Yeah, and that's why it's important to embrace whatever possible other options there are. I know as well people who were addicted, and medically assisted treatment is by great part a lifesaver.
But it's a lifelong patient. If they don't have that medicine, then they're not well. So what our pharmaceutical, it's. Our system is breaking down. So all these people that are on welfare or the lowest tier of insurance, that's taxpayer money that we are paying out to keep these people on big pharma. It's a never ending cycle. I believe that there's better ways than Matt. I absolutely do. My best friend's a doctor. I know a lot about this, and I just don't think Matt actually cures people.
Yes. Horrible story I have to hear, Chandler, and
it's a well-known topic. I don't keep.
Yes, yeah. But being confronted directly with someone I know, it makes the thing different. We all know about the numbers. We see it here. 450,000 people died from.
I know a lot of people who died.
But this raises a question. How many people are addicted? If nearly 500,000 people died from it, how many million? It must be in the millions are addicted from it.
10 million is what I know.
And I also see a high danger. People in this condition. Having this addiction. What do they have to lose in the end?
Yeah.
They have nothing to lose. So it makes the situation dangerous. More dangerous, I think, somehow, because, if you lose everything and, well, Amos, do you have anything else you want to add?
I think you brought a great report, Amos. I will tell you that.
Yes.
And I love the way you covered all of it. Other than I don't agree with Matt, you did a great job on this.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It was a very good report, Amos. Yeah. Thank you very much. Yeah, let's go over and to the next segment, and yeah. Oh no, hold on. We are not finished yet. There's something else, very important, yeah.
It's a comical moment. It's just unbelievable. The stuff that Trump says at this point is like it's like he's his own best parody. He said this in the one of his rallies, and it's just incredible. You want to run the clip?
Look, if somebody said you could have 42 gallons a person, I think, a day, it sounds like a lot of water, right? It's not. It's like a quick shower and let's wash your hands. Then they have a mandate, wash your hands at all time. You must always, constantly wash. Then they say 42 gallons. Say, wait a minute. Okay, I got a deal. I won't take a shower for the next couple of weeks, but I'll wash. No, it's true. So 42 gallons, it sounds like a lot, but it's really not. A friend of mine, he has this massive house. He says, I'm not going to be able to take a shower. I live in a house, this gorgeous house, right? Can't take a shower. Wash your hands every hour, every 15 minutes. You know what I did? I'll tell you this crazy story. So you know what bothers me? When you go into a new hotel or a new house, they have these faucets, right?
I hate that.
When no water comes out. Even if you live in like North Carolina You live in areas where, up in New England, most of our country has so much water we don't know what to do with it. The problem is how do you get rid of it? But they do for, like the desert, like here, but they do for areas that are a little bit tougher for water. But even you have the water. So they do it. So they come up with this one regulation for all over the country. So you go into a hotel or you buy a house, and they have what's called a restrictor. Right? Look at it, they're all nodding. Same thing, by the way, same thing with your dishwasher. I freed that up too. The dishwashers, they had a little problem. They didn't give enough water. So people would run them 10 times. So they end up using more water. And the thing's no damn good. We freed it up. Now you can buy a dishwasher and it comes out and it's beautiful. Go buy a dishwasher. Go buy it. Those companies. I said, what's wrong with this thing? It doesn't clean the dishes, right? The women come up to me. The women who they say don't like me, they actually do like me a lot. Suburban women, please vote for me. I'm saving your house. I'm saving your community. I'm keeping your crime way down. I keep hearing, no, they keep, it's all fake stuff. Remember they said last time about women. Women will never vote. He will never vote for Donald Trump. They'll never vote. Then the end of the evening, they're all crying, oh my God, what happened? Remember John King? What's going on over here? The red. He won Florida, huh? He won Florida. Wasn't that I won Florida, I won it like fast. And by the way, we're way up in Florida right now, too.
Yeah, women will vote for Trump because he's improved the dishwasher pressure. It's like, what can you say?
I can only say it's door handle or doorknob, you moron. This is the first thing I say. And then I ask myself, how old is he? Is he 5 or is he 6, And yeah, he's as Trump can be. We know this already. And this is tiring. This is fucking tiring. Hearing a crazy guy, blubbering, incoherent stuff, and well.
And no matter what he says, there's this crowd. Dishwashers.
Yeah. It's
what a pressure.
It's like Family Guy, or another crazy cartoon, and yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. Yeah, the dishwashers. Yeah, this will save him. The dishwashers, definitely. This will bring him the missing votes. Damn. All right.
And why is it a woman's thing? Like, why is dishwashing?
Yes, exactly. This was the same. I was also asking myself. Yeah. He knows the roles, right?
I just hate when I go into a new hotel. Yeah, it's a problem I have.
Yeah. All right. What do we have here? QAnon and the idiot.
I know nothing about QAnon.
I just told you.
I know very little. You told me, but what you tell me doesn't necessarily make it fact. I hate to say that. I know nothing about it. I do know they are very much against pedophilia. They fight it very hard. He may be
Why not
right.
just say it's crazy and not true?
He may be right. I just don't know about QAnon.
You do know.
I don't know. No, I don't know.
Just this week, you retweeted to your 87 million followers a conspiracy theory that Joe Biden orchestrated to have SEAL Team 6, the Navy SEAL Team 6, killed to cover up the fake death of bin Laden. Now, why would you send a lie like that to your followers? You retweeted
That was a retweet. That was an opinion of somebody, and that was a retweet. I'll put it out there. People can decide for themselves. I don't take a position.
You're not like someone's crazy uncle who can just retweet whatever.
That was a retweet, and I do a lot of retweets. And frankly, because the media is so fake and so corrupt, if I didn't have social media, I don't call it Twitter, I call it social media, I wouldn't be able to get the word out. Well, I test quite a bit, and I can tell you that before the debate, which I thought it was a very good debate, and I felt fantastically. I had no problem before.
Did you test the day of the debate?
I don't know. I don't even remember. I test all the time. But I can tell you this. After the debate, like I guess a day or so, I think it was Thursday evening, maybe even late Thursday evening, I tested positive. That's when I first found out. I knew it was a big threat. At the same time, I don't want to panic this country. I don't want to go out and say, everybody's going to die. Everybody's
Isn't there a middle ground? You don't have to mislead, but you can...
No, there's not a middle ground. I denounce white supremacy, okay?
You did
I've
2 days
denounced
later.
white supremacy for years, but you always do it. You always start off with a question. You didn't ask Joe Biden whether or not he denounces Antifa.
Well, what can we expect that he comes out next week with another great story that maybe Adolf Hitler and Elvis Presley are alive and they are having a supermarket. They're running a supermarket at Lake Chickamauga. Or, this is crazy stuff. And of course, he doesn't know anything, and he proved this for 4 years. And
I don't know, Marcus. I think he was right about one thing in there. About this propaganda, bullshit, garbage media we've got in this country.
Yes,
I'm not going to call it fake because it's pure propaganda. MSNBS, CNN, CBS, ABC, they are all full of shit. They're owned by the oligarchs that we're constantly battling every day because they're bending us over. So he's taken that fake news stuff to a new level. Because it is true. Most of it is bullshit, line by line by line by line. And I'm not even going to talk about Fox. I don't know what the hell they are.
Don't exclude Fox.
Yeah, they're insane. But this co-opted media in this country, that's why we are the press, people in the streets, has to be done. And I'll debate anybody on the viability of truth behind the corporate media and what's actually happening out there.
Yeah, they are the King's reporters.
Yes, they're the King's reporters. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, okay. We know that Trump doesn't know anything about nothing, but only media he's right. Okay, we will give him that.
Only media.
All right. We are coming to our next topic, and there is a big controversy about two black men and their support for Donald Trump. And this week we got two things coming up. First, there was a complaint by 50 Cent about too high taxes, which should be raised under a Biden government in New York. It should be about 62%. And he was complaining, and also Ice Cube, as the media reported, is now in the Trump boat. And yes, this picture showed up, and also the comment of Eric Trump, two great, courageous Americans. Well, it turned out the photo was fake, and of course, Eric Trump deleted it quickly after this. But the thing is, what was quite interesting to me, the blame game, especially what Ice Cube concerns. And before we go, please show the next slide. Oh, yes, exactly, this one. Here we got 50 Cent complaining, and he says, "What the fuck? Vote for Trump, I'm out. Fuck New York, the Knicks never win anyway. I don't care. Trump doesn't like black people. 62%. Are you out of your fucking mind?" And well, this is what 50 Cent seems to move, that he doesn't have to pay much money or more money in taxes. Though we got to see that he is also gaslighting, because no one ever would pay 62% because there's so many loopholes, etc. And only if you are really stupid, you're coming to the 62%. Well, but it's only to push for Trump. He joined the Trump team. A little bit different is the story around Ice Cube, and here we saw the blame game, especially coming from CNN. And if you could show the clip first.
There's no cut here. There's no cut here, Marcus. When do you want me to cut it? It's 10 minutes long.
No. It should start where we go here, and I will tell you when we start.
Before you run this, I disagree that Cuomo was attacking him. It seemed literally perplexed, and that I know is not unique to him. I think a lot of people are perplexed that anyone would consider Trump not racist in the bigger picture.
Yes, he's addressing all the topics, but please show the clip first, the first one. Yeah.
Our next guest is Ice Cube.
Oh.
If you know anything about him, and you probably do, you know he started his career rapping.
We have to cut. It didn't work out. I had a time mark for this.
Yeah, there's nothing in the deck.
This is where I can tell you. This is where he clearly says that he doesn't expect. Or that the history shows that the black people did not have to expect anything from both parties. And
what's the time?
He says, and I'm completely with him. He says a party has to own our vote, the vote of the black community. And he said it already a couple of weeks ago when he commented the first debate, and he was sitting there and he was scratching his head and said, "Okay, I listened to all this what they said, but." What do they offer for my vote? And this is exactly the question. And if you see the condition the black community is in the US, I see there's also a good portion of desperation that he shows himself open to discuss Trump and of course Biden, because he says clearly, we demand stuff to be done. And it doesn't matter who delivers the stuff. The black community is fed up, and we want to see results finally. We got promises from both sides. Nothing happened. In contrary, it got even worse. And he clearly says, because Cuomo, this is why I chose the title. Cuomo was permanently pushing him why he is not full-heartedly supporting Joe Biden, and Trump is so much racist, etc. And Ice Cube said clearly he is no part of any team. He is an independent, and he is also open to discuss with everything who wants to realize the plans he got in mind. We'll talk about this a little bit later, and that he is supporting no one apart from what he stands for. And Cuomo didn't want to get this, in my impression, and he was pushing and pushing and. This is a clear thingy that that CNN and Cuomo wanted to push Ice Cube to the so-called right side, to join Biden, and he was perplexed. And this I can give Amos. He did not get that a guy is sitting there and saying no. This is how I think, and He also gave an interview with the Rolling Stone about his plans, and he said that he did not contact the campaigns. He was contacted by them, and he said he has an open ear, and he also has a certain plan, and this was developed by Derek Hamilton. He's a professor and executive director for the Q1 Institute at the Ohio State University, and he developed with others the so-called contract with Black America, and the contract. If you can show the other slide, please, slide 24. In this contract, they have certain demands. They want to have black opportunity and representation. They want to have massive bank lending and a finance reform, because if you look at the average household in black communities, they are maybe 1/3 household gets, and this is nothing which can stand. And he also wants judicial and public police policy reform, of course, and he also, and this is quite interesting, he also wants the entertainment industry reform and reparations, and I know this also when I was checking black soul singers from the 50s and 60s, and learned that they did not get hardly a buck from what they did there at that time, and there he is absolutely right. And and he also addresses the monuments and institutions. He of course wants to have pulled down all the confederated symbols in the country, etc. I think what in this contract is written, it makes sense, and it even makes more sense if you know the situation the black community is in my opinion. And now we're coming back quickly to the Rolling Stones interview, where where he says what the facts, and he says we may have a seat at the table, but we still don't have the power, and if we don't have the power because we don't have any money. And in this system, he is right. And he later says, until you have money and capital, you get no dignity in a capitalist country. Another fact for this community, And he clearly says, I'm not playing this game no more of jumping on this team and that team and this side and that side. Of course, he has his core values and he wants them to realize, And finally, he says, both parties will lock your ass up quick. They both got the power to lock you up. One mean, one nice, okay? But it's still the same thing. Exactly is the point. You can think about the Republicans and Trump whatever you want, but you know that they show what they are doing, You know where the enemy is. While on the other side, you got often, that you get a fine smile, and then get stabbed in the back, And this is exactly, I think, what he's addressing here. And I think it's a very different difference between what 50 Cent stood for, with his worries about paying more taxes, and the core values which Ice Cube stands for. And I know that Amos has something to say.
How do you know?
I can feel it.
Yeah, I do. Actually, it reminds me a little bit of a debate or discussion, political discussion that was held in Israel, because the right-wing parties initially that at the beginning of the state were fighting for the independence of Israel, and they were at the point where they were flirting with the Nazi party, with the German Nazi party. And they got a lot of criticism after that for doing so. And their defense was, we were interested in whoever would provide a state for the Jewish people. And it seemed like they were going to oppose the imperialist British rule to enable that. So, the question is, I take 50 Cent's points, but at some point is like you wonder, do you give credence to someone who would publicly prohibit or ban Black Lives Matter rallies because he considers them racist? Or do you just say it doesn't matter who it is, I'm gonna play ball? I don't know the answer for that, but
a rhetorical question. Okay, I don't know the answer too, but I think Ice Cube is doing it right here, because. We saw this a couple of weeks ago also. It was Lawrence O'Donnell, I think, in the older video, where he clearly said that the progressives are lost in the Democratic Party because no one ever listens to them, And if you get the same thing for the black community, if you look at the history, especially Joe Biden's crime plan and what Hillary Clinton did in the Clinton administration, If you cannot trust the guy who tells you he's your friend, and betrays you, well, you don't have much opportunities. And Ice Cube also said it, in a two-party system, what chances do we have? What opportunities do we have?
But at the other hand, we have somebody right now in the vice presidential position that has openly called for reparations for the black community. So that's a step forward, in my opinion. It hasn't happened. I don't know if it will happen, but it definitely signals something. And it's questionable whether you should give credence to a party that's trying to position itself very clearly, very transparently right now, and create propaganda of black crowds.
I can tell you one reason. Trump. I can tell you one reason why. One reason is, and I think it's the right reason, to put some pressure on the Democratic Party. If they know that you are not on their boat, that they have to fight for your then all the other stuff, what I'm hearing, I heard a lot from the Democrats in the past years. Most of it was lip service, right? Just if it's the only argument to put pressure on the Democratic Party, so be it. They need every pressure they can get.
I don't think they give a shit.
They don't.
They don't give a shit.
Yeah.
So it's going to
what do you say?
Take a generation.
You're
to
muted?
die off. Shanda, you're muted. Turn it on.
Still muted.
Turn your muted on. We'd love to hear your dulcet tones.
Yeah, I got to push back a little. Ice Cube is straight out of Compton. Como is straight out of Hamptons. One's a black man, one's a white man. Who do you think is more qualified to talk to about the plight of the blacks, especially those living in, say, South Central LA? Cube did great on this. He's absolutely right. The Dems just think you have to fall in line. They do nothing to earn any of these votes, and Yeah, 50 Cent, we all know is broke. I mean, come on, there's the famous internet joke about him completely being broke out there. So obviously he's voting because he's trying to protect what little money he has left. And I think his brain might have leaked out of the 15 bullet holes that he got, because he is just selling out his community.
All right, okay. Amos, I think he's right if his argument is to put pressure on the Democratic Party. Then yeah, but I see also your point, and these questions I think only Ice Cube has to answer himself. But I think if he puts the contract on the table and he wants this point for point, being worked out, then I think there is not much room, that the Republicans would misuse him for their purposes. I think a guy like Ice Cube, he is not fucking around. He will say clearly what's a go and what's a no go. Yeah. Well, this was the story about 50 Cent and Ice Cube, and we are coming now to. Again, and Amos, how is it? You are always presenting the dark stuff. Is it? But we have to talk about it. Yeah, we have to talk about it, and it's about ICE and the acceleration of the deportations, Amos.
Yeah, that's a truly disturbing thing that just popped up in the news. I was trying to get the journalist that broke it to join us, but in some capacity here on the channel. But the thing is, there's a story about Cameroonian asylum seekers that were held in a prison. They were tortured by ICE, according to multiple witnesses, and that included very serious ways. They were tortured in order to extract a waiver so that they could be sent back to their countries. And in fact, one plane has already left, distributing some of these people back to the countries that they were running away from. And particularly in Cameroon, there's a crackdown by the authorities on opposition to the point of life. Those people could be easily assassinated once they return. It's unbelievable. And two of the women that were flown away were two of the women that were claiming that they were unwittingly they were sterilized without notice or without being consulted. And it's amazing that these people just simply flew them away so that there would be no evidence left against ICE. I think people are like on the right are criticizing people on the left that they're extreme by asking for ICE to be dismembered, dissolved. But I think if that's the type of stuff that's going on under ICE, we have to break it down and start over with something else. It's just not beyond reform. And here's one of the accusations. Does anybody here want to read it? I'm not the best.
right? According to multiple accounts, detainees were threatened, choked, beaten, pepper sprayed, and threatened with more violence to make them sign. Several were put in handcuffs by immigration and customs enforcement ICE officers, and their fingerprints were taken forcibly in place of a signature on documents called stipulated orders of removal, by which the asylum seekers waive their rights to further immigration hearings and accept deportation. Wonderful. Yeah.
And that here we have the formation of what could sometime become like a Gestapo type of
They already are.
core of people who are willing to do whatever it takes to it's truly frightening. And I hope there's going to be serious examination of that, which it's questionable whether it will, but I think everybody has to kind of share and promote this piece of information so that it rises up in the media and is taken seriously.
Yeah, I've seen ICE in action. I lived in a Mexican trailer park, and so I know how they felt about ICE, and when they would raid the trailer park, what they would do to flee them. But let's not forget that Border Patrol is just as Gestapo as ICE. A lot of times we don't lump them in the same category, but they are just as bad, and they are doing just as horrendous things to the immigrant population.
Absolutely. I can back that up. Seen it firsthand.
Fortunately, I did not.
Yeah, it's pretty frightening.
Yeah, I live in a border town. They're bad.
Yeah. And what was it? What did they say? They lost more than 500 children. They could not find the parents anymore,
And those are children that were after if you remember, there was a period of time where the courts came out and they said the government must release all of the children's names and their parents' information to other organizations so they could find their parents. Those children were mostly children that were hidden at that point. Even at that point, the government hid those children's names, and it only came out when investigative reporting was done later on, a few months later, and then they had to release the rest of the kids' names. I don't know if there's any more hidden ones, but it's just atrocious. If there was even one kid that was orphaned for life and traumatized in that manner for political gains, that is criminal. And I think that the people in this administration had direct. Trump himself he has blood on his hands, plain and simple.
Yeah, of course, yeah. Yes, yeah. Let's move over to the Democrats again. Yes. Well, at this week, the Barrett hearing is done, and it brought nothing apart from a short love story with Lindsay and Deanne. We had this last week, and now what are the Democrats doing? Well, they are planning to hit hard. They're striking back, as hard as they can, and they are boycotting the nomination, and and they're doing stuff. They are doing posters, and they're making little thingies, and photos, etc. And to me, when I heard it, at the first place when it came to my knowledge that Dianne Feinstein was at this thingy, first thing it was, damn, she's still alive, and we saw this last week. She did not prevent it. She kind of liked Amy Coney or Lindsay, or I don't know what she was doing there. Nobody seems to know. Anyway, the Democrats playing hard now. They're boycotting this thingy. And although we got to add, the plan hasn't been finalized yet, and they want with poster-sized photos of all the people who would be hurt by Barrett and their potential vote for the Affordable or against the Affordable Care Act. And when I saw this news, I said, okay, they're sitting down now and they're getting safety scissors and the glue, with no bad stuff in it, and they're starting to work something, And I was asking, really, is that all you can do? And we see, and this is a big difference between the Republicans and the Democrats as I see them here, while the Republicans don't shy away, or really the cowboy style, to play rough, You see, on the other hand, the super soft Democrats, and you are asking yourself, why don't they push back? Why don't they listen, idiots? If you want to push through this nomination, we will definitely crowd pack the Supreme Court. They don't push back. They do nothing. For me, it seems a little bit, that they on a secret side they are happy with the nomination, But I don't see real actions against it apart from ridiculous stunts, and it is so painful to see, and it shows how useless this party at this moment is, that if this was a party in Germany, I would cut off my hand before I would make a cross, next to them, right? Because they are useless, waste of skin, and this came into my mind when I heard, and especially there was the Huffington Post thingy where they explained this, and there was one line, if you can show slide 33. Yes. A boycott will delight progressives. Yeah, we will be dancing. We will be dancing that day when they are away and not attending this thingy, and we will be so delighted. What?
Are they admitting it's political theater just to appease the progressives?
Yes, and this is.
They're tubing us. They're tubing us, Shanda. They're tubing us.
At least they're trying.
At least.
Oh, shit.
And it is absolutely fantastic, and then there was the last thingy, why they're hesitant, if you can show the next slide. And I thought, oh my God. They say, Democrats have been hesitant to discuss their plans should they gain power, not wanting to provide Republicans who are playing defense with an issue that could alienate voters. So you know exactly what voters they are aiming at.
Oh my God!
They are not the voters would bring them the win guaranteed. Those voters who don't vote on either the non-voters, the independent voters, all who are fed up with this shit. No, they are aiming at the Republicans or the conservative voters. To bring in the win. And this could alienate them. And I say, holy shit. Why do we need two parties?
We don't have two parties. We
Any
have
comment?
one.
No.
We have one.
On the paper.
Yeah.
On the paper.
Yeah.
Yeah, please.
Shanda's singing.
I know, I'm busy making fun of it in the Rockfin chat.
It's terrible that we're reduced to this. That's all I can say. Again,
Amos,
go, Amos.
You're smiling. You're smiling.
Come on, Amos.
Well, no, I think, look, ultimately, it's good that they boycotted. They should have walked out to begin with altogether. They could have done more, I think, but ultimately...
They were the best hearings ever, is what Feinstein said.
Yeah, well, Feinstein, you know what I think.
Feinstein. Let's forget Feinstein for a moment.
Yeah, but ultimately, you do have to consider that they really don't have much leverage right now in Senate, and whatever, they couldn't really stop this. They could put in obstacles, which I think they should have done even more so, deny consent, and so forth. But whatever they do, the Republicans can undo, because even that rule that they broke in the committee, that the minority, two minority members, I think, have to be there. They broke that rule. They should definitely go after them for that, even if it creates 5 hours of delay, whatever it does. I mean, just give them a little bit of a fight.
Yes.
It's unfortunate. I don't think you mentioned the packing. I don't think the packing by itself is a solution for that, because it can come back and bite us in the behind, just like the removal of the filibuster rules did. But there's the system needs to be reformed, and Republicans should be warned that it's coming.
Yeah, I'm completely aware that the Democrats are in no power, but this being in no power doesn't mean not having no balls, right? And there's nothing, they are not pushing back in nothing. And you cannot do this. You got to push back somehow. Otherwise,
they're doing PR stunts instead.
Yes. Only PR stunts. It started 1 or 2 weeks ago with Nancy Pelosi, denying, the stimulus because Trump's signature would be under the check and stuff. All these are political stunts. And this is everything they offer? Really? Sorry.
No, with Pelosi, it's more, and I think it's wider than that. I think it's the things that Republicans insisted not including that were a deal breaker for Democrats. But it's clear also that it was said that McConnell wasn't interested in dealing with passing this incentive before Barrett was confirmed. So it's not just...
And Bram said it clearly. Hey, let's not forget that Obama went into office with a supermajority and all of the amazing things they passed. Oh, wait a minute. They didn't do shit with a supermajority. Yes, and that's the point.
Good point, Marcus.
Yes. And this is why I came up with the next slide. Some of you guys may know him. The next one, sorry. And he's Orm from the Norseman, balls like a Norseman. I vote blue. You know the TV show.
Oh my God.
Well, these were my 2 cents on the Democratic Party this week. Yeah.
Hey, Amos, Marcus, I have a question.
Yes, please.
Is it okay? Can I get permission to put my hands in my pockets? Because I don't know if that's something that I want to do anymore these days.
Not if your first name is Rudy.
Okay.
Or if you're on a Zoom chat.
Oh, okay. I'll place them carefully on my desk in front of me, okay?
Hold them high that we can see them.
Okay. It's 38 degrees in the studio, and I should have dressed for this cold and inclement weather. Thank you, though. I'm glad we clarified that.
Yes, all right. Okay, and I think we should go over to the next one. And this, finally, we got real good news this week. Evo Morales is back. Not really back, but his party is back. And the right-wing coup, it failed. And it was so great to see. And I would like to ask Oz to show the first 2 minutes of the clip, because it presents a story, what happened before.
On Sunday, Bolivia will hold presidential elections that could mark the return to power of Evo Morales' movement towards socialism, or MAS. 2 of his closest allies, Luis Arce and David Choquehuanca, are running for president and vice president. Morales was deposed and then exiled in November of last year. Accusations of electoral fraud led to protests, which paved the way for a coup orchestrated by right-wing evangelical Christians and the military. In the months since, it's become increasingly clear that Morales won re-election legitimately, and the accusations of fraud were unfounded. But the government that took power after the coup, led by a formerly obscure senator named Janine Áñez, still wants to keep Morales and his party out of power for good. That may not be easy. Morales was the first indigenous president of a majority indigenous country. His 14 years in power saw steady economic growth and millions lifted out of poverty. His attempt to stay in power for a fourth term may have backfired, eventually leading to the coup. But his political career is far from over. From his new home in Argentina, Morales still runs his party. In this rally, which took place in January, Morales formally announced that Arce and Choquehuanca would represent MAS in the election.
Y vamos a volver al gobierno. Vamos a volver al gobierno. No con armas como la derecha. No con balas como los racistas fascistas.
The week of the rally, we sat down for an interview with Morales to discuss his new life as party leader in exile and his plans for a triumphant return to Bolivia.
En la prensa internacional hay cierta reticencia.
Okay, here we can cut. All right, this was a story about Evo Morales and how he had to be or how he was exiled, and of course there were certain people involved in all the story, and one of them, you are quite familiar with him, is Mike Pompeo. And in the Intercept, in the article, it says that Mike Pompeo at that time cheered the coup. Because you got to ask yourself, why should Mike Pompeo or the U.S. government being so interested in Bolivia and what's going on there? And of course, there is something to get. And it's not only the oil, it is that Evo Morales put under state control before it was privatized. This was the first thing which the American industry did not like. And then, of course, they got a good portion of rare earth also there. And Evo Morales and his party, they were in charge for 3 terms already. They changed a lot in Bolivia. If you look there, that the wealth for the average people there, especially for the indigenous people there, grew very, very fast, and much more people could escape poverty, etc. So this explains why Evo Morales is so loved in Bolivia, and his win was overwhelming. I think it was about more than 52% who wanted him back, and and this also the thing, the Obama administration, they also had their special relationships with strange people in office. As if you look at Egypt here, Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, for example, and everyone holds his own state leader, as it seems, and in this case, in Bolivia, it failed. The right wingers, with a lot of support from not only from America, also from Brussels, who are also pushing for the right wing government there. It failed, and it's a good news that Evo Morales' party is back. In how far he would be part of this new of this is questionable, because it was criticized already that he had 3 terms and he was aiming at a 4th one before the coup happened. Well, we will see in how far he will play a role. Of course, he will play a role as the party leader. If he will become a president again, this I doubt this. I think his Minister for Finances, who was one of the guys who was in charge of the growing wealth for the people there, is also very, very liked there. And I think, all in all, absolute great messages from Bolivia. Anything to add, guys?
Yeah, go ahead.
Till we get ranked choice voting, it's not a reality for us in America.
Yeah.
I think it's great that the Trump administration's intervention. See, they're interventionist in some regards and none in others, but they're certainly intervening with these countries. They attempted the coup in Venezuela. Now they attempted it in Bolivia, and it's failed. They failed. They've
and look at the history. Look at Salvador Allende in Chile. Who did they get? Pinochet. It was Pinochet, right?
Yes.
One of the most brutal dictators in South America, right? And I'm glad that the peoples recounted. And there's something also which is remarkable. Though Evo Morales had also 3 terms in office, the people wanted to have them a 4th term. It was the will of the people that he would stay in charge, and this is also telling. Apart from the rules of the Constitution, etc., he's for the Bolivian people. Evo Morales is a hero because he walked the talk. He's one of those examples who really did what he promised, and this is great. And we need more of them. Right. So this is already some kind of last word for today because it was the last segment, and we are looking at what's coming up next week, and of course we have Amos. Or is it secure that your show is running with your guests? Are there problems or what's going on? Tell us, please.
Don't know. The guest has indicated the willingness to show up, but I'm trying to get hold of him more closely. We'll see what. I hope it'll come because it's a great guest. One of the 2 individuals who rang the alarm about what could happen past the elections in terms of the dispute.
Yeah, and as I learned tonight, there is no Boom and the Beauty. Is that right?
No, we got one tonight.
No.
Yeah, Beauty and the Boomer tonight.
Okay, we have a Beauty and the Boomer. Wonderful.
We just don't have a card up yet. I haven't had a lot of time.
Okay.
I've had a family member in the hospital, so I haven't spent a lot of time working on the show, but it will be done by tonight.
Yeah, so I misunderstood. Okay, and only the card is missing. Well, and of course we have the Daily Show, The Dive.
This week we're going to take a couple of days off at least. We may be doing a evening dive Monday because I've got a feeling that some poo-poo is going to be hitting the fan Monday. So we're going to be off Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. We'll be back with Women's Wednesday. We may do an evening dive on Monday or Tuesday, I'm thinking. Is that acceptable, Shanda?
Yeah, I actually enjoy the evening dives.
Yeah. So, and that's what we got going. So Wednesday, yes, Amos is slated for the Progressive Update, and I'm looking forward to a very nautical pre-Halloween show tonight on Beauty and the Boomer. So everybody, 7 p.m. Pacific time. Shanda will be there in all of her glory, and Oz will be there with hair.
Yeah. Again with hair. Okay. Wonderful. And next week we have also 2 shows. We have No Joke, and later we have our big Halloween party, right?
Yeah.
I want to tease this a little bit, and I know that our viewers will tune in.
Oh, it's going to be worth it, guys. I've got the inside info on everybody's costumes, and they are amazing. It's worth tuning in just to see what everybody's coming at.
And how can they can join.
You already know mine, and you know what it caused to the systems, right?
Yeah.
I know.
Meltdown.
You crashed the minute you showed it to me.
Meltdown. Yeah, we've got, if you want to get on the Halloween show, roarmedialive@gmail.com. That's straight to me. And hopefully we won't have a power outage. I apologize to Amber King and Brave New Future last night. My power went down 15 minutes before the show last night. It was out for 4 hours. So we will be bringing that back at some point in time in the not-too-distant future for you to view.
Yeah. Well, and before we go out with a song, we got Amos' last hit. Can you show the slide, please?
Yeah, where is it? Oh, there it is. Okay. Do you see it, Amos?
Yeah, I can see it. It's did he just leave the interview? Did he just flee the interview? What did you do? I don't know. I asked him to point to the part of him where the stable genius resides.
Stable genius resides, exactly. Yeah.
Oh my God!
And of course, this refers to the next slide. You know, the Todos needs timeout. Yeah, the 60 minutes. Yeah,
that's not mine, but I thought it was funny.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah. Well, as I said, we're at the end of the show already, and it was. I think it was a very interesting show, very nice show, and thanks to my panel, thanks to Chandler, thanks to Amos, thanks to Oz, and thank you all for watching, and tune in later for The Beauty and the Boomer. And today we're going out with a band I know since the early 80s here in Germany. I remember when they came to our club, and they had a very, very strange story about their last concert one evening before. I gotta tell you, these guys are doing country rock, country music, you know, and they are doing also satires, and this combination gives Cliff Barnes the fear of winning, and they are having titles like "Nobody's Got an Asshole Like a Cowboy," or referring to the 80s, Nancy and Ronnie are fucking in the White House. These are little pearls, you know, in their music history, and they came at that concert at our club, you know, and they were only half a band. They said, "Yeah, we lost the other guys in Berlin the other night because we were at a cowboy meeting, you know, a country cowboy festival or something like that." And they didn't share our kind of humor, and it turned out to be a battle in the concert room, you know. And we all bought the story later. It came up that it was completely fake. Those guys were not even complete Americans; they're half Americans, half German, and but they love to do their shit. And I think it was quite fitting. The song, "It's Cold Outside," and yeah, stay home, stay safe, and see you next week.
All right. Nobody's got an asshole.
Bye, guys. Bye.
Oh, my God. Oh, my gosh. Is that Joe Biden?
Yeah, all of them.
All of them, Joe Biden.
What's gonna save for me today? Jesus is my savior. What's gonna save for me today? Unmarried mother with a baby boy, a 10-year-old orphan with a broken toy, just another soul adrift. You came invited but forgot the gift. We want to live again. The devil took my daughter, took her all the way down in the hole. The devil took my daughter, took her all the way down in the hole. Made her drink the water there, washed her soul into despair. Left her lying in a pool of fate, heart torn out on a dirty blade. sun won't kiss the ground again today. It's cold and it's dark, and the sun won't kiss the ground again today.